So listen, I'm not really getting into the whole Chris Brown AMAs situation. It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm okay with not getting worked up over something that I know I'm probably not gonna give two F's about in a year or two. Like the truth of the matter is, even with the AMA situation, as much as these celebrities want to cut up and act a fool and we should do this and we should do that, girl, they're gonna be right at the AMAs next year and we're not gonna care. So it's kind of like, girl, I don't care. They're gonna be right back at the AMAs in 2025, waiting and hoping that they win an American Music Award. It is what it is. Quad is except Chris Brown might be back next year if they let him perform. I'm just saying. Kelly Rowland is one of the baddest women walking around. Mama is sickening. And I'm not just talking about physical wise, but she seems like she has a dope personality, right? But she says some things that I side eye to. I mean, we all say things that that can get a side eye, including me. Okay, let's have some kitchen table talk. I'm really trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to say something that, girl, I will regret. So we're going to take our time with this. The Chris Brown and Rihanna situation when he beat up Rihanna, that happened some years ago. And I'm going to just be transparent with you guys. I have gotten to a point when it comes to the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, I have chose to let it go. I look at the situation now. They were children, not children, but I think Chris was like 19, a teenager, a child. That's still a child in my eyes. I think Chris Brown was around I think 19, a teenager. Probably clearly wasn't the best as it pertains to having control over his emotions. We don't have to get into the back and forth of what happened in that call. We don't know. The only two that really know is Chris Brown and Rihanna. But girl, based off of the pictures afterwards, I can say that Rihanna got the short end of the stick. So I look at the situation, I go, okay, girl, this happened years ago. I think over a decade ago, I think. Chris Brown was very young. Probably, still to this day, probably no type of emotional intelligence, no control over his emotions. But even when you look at Chris Brown's track record, even after that, like that was not a one and done, y'all. I'm sorry. That wasn't just one incident or accident for some people that just happened. Chris Brown was still problematic even after that incident. Even as recent as I think what 2017, 18, somewhere around there, where Carucci, his ex-girlfriend at the time, I believe, was granted a restraining order against Chris Brown. We even had Tokyo Vanity come out and talk about how Chris Brown was a colorist and how he would not allow dark skinned women in his section at the club, which kind of brings me to Kelly Rowland. I am side-eyeing Kelly because of the simple fact that while Kelly Rowland would be allowed in Chris Brown's section at the club, Calandria, regular Calandria, if Kelly was not Kelly Rowland and she was Calandria from H-Town where we get down, wouldn't maybe even get into the club. Do I think it's a little problematic that Kelly Rowland is kind of coming to the defense of someone who is a colorist? Yeah, I do. This what this it is not. And this is what I mean when I say certain things. I think for a lot of us, we were born, we were conditioned, we were taught to believe this. But I think somewhere along the line, we have to realize that certain things are not true. And a lot of the things that we were taught that society tried to teach us is not actually the truth, right? I think it is very well much a problem if you are still walking around here in 2022 as a colorist. Even if it was 2021, even if it was 2020, it's a problem. Even with Kelly Rowland being interviewed on the street with TMZ, I'll put the link in the description box so you can hear what she had to say. You know, I'm about to say something that's going to probably shake the table a little bit. But this whole thing of we all fall short, we all make mistakes is some bullshit. Because when you start to push that narrative of, oh, we all make mistakes, it's almost like putting everybody under the same umbrella. Yes, we all make mistakes, but girl, every mistake is not the same. So don't try and put what this person did that might be a mistake over here with someone who did something. Because it could be two completely different mistakes. Do I believe that people can learn, grow, and evolve? Yes, I do. I'll even use this as an example. If I found out that you said the F word, if you've said some homophobic things 10 years ago, it really wouldn't bother me. Because quite frankly, girl, I feel like most people have probably said some homophobic things. Hell, even I have. Okay? Now, would it bother me if I found out you just said it last year? Yeah, it would. 10 years ago, I'm hoping that 10 years later you have grown and evolved. So, yeah, sometimes you have to allow people the chance to grow and evolve. But again, like I said with Chris Brown, baby, that just wasn't a one and done, baby. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody deserves grace. But all mistakes are not the same. So again, I think when you try and pull the we all make mistakes, it does kind of lump everybody under the same umbrella as though, well, girl, you made a mistake too. So girl, you should give this person a pass. I think it is easier for me, you, and maybe your mama and your cousin too, to say that Chris Brown should be forgiven for the Rihanna situation, or we should let it go because it happened so long ago and because Chris Brown was a very young age. But I'm just going to tell y'all straight out right now. What time? At 6:20 p.m., November the 22nd, today is a Tuesday. If one of your sons or daughters happens to ever put their hands on Tatum, Bailey, or Sloan, which happen to be my three nieces, ain't gonna be no fucking forgiving. And that's just on fucking period. So again, I think it's easy for us to say that. Because Chris Brown ain't hitting down one of my nieces. My niece's picture, face wasn't floating around her, busted up and bloody. I mean, some of y'all probably still wouldn't care, but you know. So sometimes, you know, your thoughts may be a little bit different when it hits closer to home. It's one thing for us to see these things happening on TV, because in real life we don't know none of these people. And it may be a little bit easier for you to be like, girl, it's so fucked up, but girl, I'm gonna let it go. But girl, when it's knocking on your front door, you may have a change of heart. Which brings me to my next thing also. Girl, y'all have to stop allowing these celebrities, y'all have to stop allowing, girl, the media to change your moral stick. If you believe that you don't stand up for a man who puts his hands on a woman, then that's what it is. Stop letting Kelly Rowland tell you on the fucking TMZ that, oh girl, we all deserve grace. We all, girl, we should all, basically, we all make mistakes. Sweetie, because the truth of the matter is, I ain't out here putting my hands on women. I'm not walking around here in 2022 with colorist views. I'm not walking around here in 2022 being transphobic or homophobic. So no, sweetie, no. We ain't all the same. And while we do make mistakes, sweetie, my mistakes ain't on no woman beating level. My mistakes ain't on no, you know, around here essaying children and women. So no. Our mistakes ain't the fucking same. They ain't gonna ever be the goddamn same. And you ain't gonna ever be able to lump me with these other motherfuckers over here. And that's just on period. Have I made some mistakes? Yeah, I fucked somebody's husband before. Yeah. Was I trifling? Yeah. Was I also in my 20s? Yeah. Am I doing it now? No. So again, my mistakes ain't on no woman beating, out here selling drugs to the community, having the community on, girl, pills, powder, and lean. Sweetie, no. We're not the same. Our mistakes are not the same, and it ain't gonna ever be the same, bitch. You got me fucked up. Love Kelly Rowland to pieces. But I am a little bit disappointed in Kelly Rowland because, again, Kelly Rowland is, baby, the mother of the dark skin committee. And the simple fact that, girl, you ain't too far removed from reality. Girl, you know Chris Brown is a motherfucking colorist. So for you to get your black ass on the TV screen and defend somebody who, girl, wouldn't even let you in the spot if your name was Calandria from H-Town is a little problematic and baffling. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It is. Sorry. I get that people make mistakes. All mistakes are not on the same level. I get that people grow and evolve. However, when you have a pattern, baby, that's a problem. We're not going to act like Chris Brown was a one and done when it came to Rihanna. There were other situations that happened after Rihanna. Okay? So, y'all can sit here and try to play that back and forth game. I'm not going to play that game. It is what it is. If you choose to, you know, it's one thing, girl. Like somebody asked me the other day in the comment section, do we get to a point where, girl, because at some point, bitch, all our faves are going to be problematic. And that's the truth. Like, I think we just have to get to a point where it's kind of like, okay, girl, if you're willing to deal with it, it's one, you know, I'll give you an example. R. Kelly, I don't listen to R. Kelly's music. I haven't listened to R. Kelly's music in years. And I actually have no desire to. That situation is something that I cannot look over. I just can't. Not at my big age, not at my big ass age now. If I was 18 and really didn't understand, then maybe so. But now with my big ass age as a grown ass man, no, I can't deal with it. I can't do it. Will I still listen to the City Girls sometimes, even though Carisha has said some things in the past that kind of rubbed me the wrong way? Yeah, I still listen to the City Girls. Do I still listen to Chris Brown music from time to time? Yeah, I do. Am I still gonna listen to Kelly Rowland? Yes. So I guess it just gets to a point where you have to decide what you really are gonna stand for and what you're not gonna stand for. I'm not standing for the I don't want to say the word. I know the word. I just want to say it for when it comes to children. That's the line where we're not gonna cross. Anything else, we can sit down and try to have a civilized conversation about it. When it got to do with the children and you doing this and you sitting outside the middle schools and recording and yeah, it's a no for me. Also, one thing I wanted to add that I think is part of the problem is if you're going to support whoever you're going to support them. But stop trying to rewrite history and make it seem as though these things did not happen. So, for example, we know that Chris Brown, even past the Rihanna situation, was still problematic. It's one thing for you to just accept that those things have happened, and even with me accepting that those things happen, I'm still going to support this person versus you trying to act like those things didn't happen and girl, people are just making things up on Chris Brown. That's a problem that I have. Like I was stating earlier in the video, girl, like one of you mentioned, at some point, girl, all of our faves are going to be problematic. I think at that point, it's up to you to decide what you're going to deal with, what you're going to accept, and what you're not going to accept. Right? If you think this person has a capability of changing to become a better person, like I mentioned Carisha earlier, I'm hoping that even though it was probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago when she made those comments, that girl now in 2022 that her thought process would be different. I don't know, but I'm hoping that it would be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I love Kelly Rowland, but Kelly Rowland, your black ass won't be able to get nowhere near Chris Brown in real life outside of you being Kelly Rowland. And I think it's actually kind of sad that this dark-skinned woman is low-key coming to the defense of a man who, quite frankly, will probably spit on you in real life outside of all of the Hollywood shit y'all got going on. Stop acting like the things that are happening are not happening in order to make you feel comfortable with you standing beside someone. I think that happens because you don't want to really admit that these things have happened with your fave, so you rewrite history. You pretend that it's not happening. So then you get to feel comfortable in your support of this person. Stop allowing people to convince you or make you believe that all mistakes are the same because they're not. Stop allowing even Kelly Rowland to make you believe that, oh girl, we all deserve grace. Trying to make it seem as though, girl, we may all be under the same umbrella. Girl, sweetie, we're not under the same umbrella. I'm not under the same umbrella as Chris Brown and his homeboys. And you can't put me there. Now, you can probably put me over here with the hoes and the Jezebels and the bitches with the Delilah spirits. You could probably put me over there. Back then. All right, I'm gone, y'all. Bye.